is ideate, fourth is prototyping, and the last is test. Once again, it's not linear. You don't go from one and then you go to two, you go to three, you don't go like that. Sometimes when you're in the testing, the idea is, the definition is not very clear. So let's go back to number 2. Sometimes when you are testing, the prototype has to be done again. So once you do your prototype, you do your testing again. But what I like about the stages of the design thinking is that there's no one answer. You know, there's no one solution to the problem. There can be so many options for the children to pursue. Okay, so this is just a visual representing what I said just now, that it doesn't really follow a linear process. And you might be thinking, okay, Miss Ananebelle, I'm doing that with my students, but sometimes I just go to posting the problem and then solving. You know, that's the only thing. And oftentimes our problems are, you know, problems in North America or problems in South Africa, you know, problems that we see in the news. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's important to look at our needs first, the needs of our local community, so that when you go and test, when you create your prototype, you have real people who can tell you, this is really not working for me, as opposed to just somebody who say, it looks nice because the design is really colorful, or that work is really done so well, that's great. You're really not going through the whole process of problem solving, if you like. So this has, as I've shared before, this has become really, really famous. I'm sure you have also gone through it before. Here are just some examples that I would like to share with you. Let's look at this example. This is from IDEO. IDEO is a global design firm. They went through the design thinking process. And the problem that they were trying to solve here is they were trying to look at safety, convenience, and theft. So they were redesigning a shopping cart. So they obviously went through the design thinking process. After brainstorming, they had so many prototypes. But when they had the prototypes tested, they collected feedback. And so from the feedback they collected, they recreated their prototypes, and now we have this revolutionized and a safer design for a shopping cart. So that is from IDEO in the US. Here's a second example. This second example is close to home. This is from a company called Embrace. So they use the design. Could you just tell me if you know this? But the reason that they have this type of portable infant warmer is really for premature babies. You know, you have those things called incubators. They're very expensive and they're impractical if you go to the rural areas in India. So the company Embrace designed this, and of course collected feedback from the moms, and they were able to create this product to demonstrate supporting them, and they went through the design thinking process through this. I have a third example for you. These are real examples, and they have been proven to have gone through the design thinking protocol. This is from BMVSS. So they use the design thinking protocol again to support amputees, really focusing on low cost, flexible, and durable prosthetics. So they helped 1.5 million people regain mobility. This is called the Jaipur foot. So there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of schools, there's a lot of people who have actually improved the lives of many people in the world. So I'll stop talking now. I'll ask you for your ideas. You can go ahead and put it in the chat box if you have some ideas to share. If you are a teacher and you've had some experience in this, kindly share as well. If you've seen a child who has gone through somehow the design thinking and were able to improve the lives of their friends, their peers, their family members, local community, please share it as well. Anyone would like to speak? Please let me know. Anyone? Alina, Miss Alina, please go ahead. Yes. Miss Alina, is she there? She was raising her hand. Go ahead, Miss Alina. Okay. Nope, she's not there now. Anyone? So I remember when I was, I think years ago, it was, there was a boy in grade 4. He was in I don't know, Miss Prapi's class or another. Miss Alina, are you ready to share? We can't hear you, my dear. Are you muted? No. No. No, you're not muted, but we can't hear you. You can type it in the chat box if you like. Yeah. So this boy, he takes the school transport, and he saw that the children were not ready to, were not comfortable to go down, and their people were helping them. So he designed an attachment to the stairs of the bus so that the children can go down comfortably. I remember his name is Arav, and was very proud to design that for the children of Lancer. So very, very happy. Alina, I think you're ready to share. Go ahead. No, still no. All right. This is what I said in the beginning. That is very. We are all rusty with Zoom because we are not. You can't hear Alina, right? No, just
No, ma'am.
No, right? No. But you can hear me, yeah? Okay. So, all right. So that's okay, Miss Alina. If you've got some more ideas, just put it in the chat box, please, because I'm sure that they will be brilliant ideas that we guys can share. The most important part, again, is that we are in different journey points. We are not experts. We are also, we can also develop into experts if we start somewhere. Now, how are we, or where can we start for those of you who are beginners to this entire process? You can start by maybe asking your kids to design a new classroom layout. I'm sure they will love this. You can tell them that the design doesn't seem to fit everybody. So what do you think about relaxation? What do you think about creativity? What do you think about learning in our classroom? Where can we develop that? Yeah, so Miss Alina in the chat box mentioned about using design thinking class when she was a teacher in Thailand, and they really addressed some real issues at school among students and teachers. Very good. So here are some ideas for primary that you can start with. You can also ask the kids to design a playground. You can tell them that the playground needs to be fun, safe, and inclusive. So let's go ahead and redesign the playground. What do you think? Of course, they will use crayons and paper, maybe building blocks to redesign their playground. But here you are giving them a layer of being respectful to the others by adding a layer of the word inclusion. So if you're using that in your school and you have defined that already, you can tell them, okay, how can we make everyone feel included in our playground? You can also reimagine the school uniform. I've got a student last year. She said to me that, Miss Ananebelle, I don't want our uniforms to zip only halfway because our PE uniform, they only zip halfway. I don't know from Lancer's Convent what your PE uniform looks like, but our winter uniform, PE uniform actually is not it doesn't open whole way. So she said, Miss, I want to redesign this because it's very difficult for many children, especially we have a child who had mobility issues. They cannot wear it comfortably. So I'm very excited. I said, this is really nice. There was another child who also said that, Miss, we go to the school gate and we need hats for those, for the little babies. And so we had a really nice white hat last year, 2 years ago as well, where our kids were wearing them. So yes, correct. Students are not only just prototyping their ideas, but actually implementing it as well. Air quality was an issue that they had it in Thailand with Miss Alina. So thanks for sharing that. Good. You also have some big topics on sustainability, and you had this. Emotional playground and created prototypes of different sections on the playground. That's really nice, so that they can express their emotions in a safe way. A few more ideas, of course, for you guys. We've got a lot of ideas. Keep them coming. Another idea is to design a new lunch box. How nice is that, right? The objective, of course, is to look at sustainability, like what Miss Brenda mentioned, and aesthetics. We see a lot of lunch boxes coming to the school. We can redesign that. That's a good activity. I'm sure you've done something similar before. Do share them as well. You can. I like this because we've got some kids in our club who does this. We call them the event management club. They can plan a school event. They can design, say, the sports day, a talent show, a fair. They can do that and guide the students how to manage an event. And of course, if it is a fundraiser, they can provide the money to the less fortunate people. Okay. The next one is design a simple board game if they are waiting for their sisters or siblings. We have got some kids who are staying back after school. They can just do a simple board game designed by the students. Of course, you also have another idea, which is build a better backpack. Design their toys and clothes. Students make using different materials. Yes. Of course, we have a lot of science and social studies lessons. Miss Alina, you have asked a question, where can we incorporate this? We have something called assessments. When we have summative assessments, you can go ahead and embed that in the classroom. So if your lesson is on, say, we teach values education as well. We call it personal education. Say you want to teach empathy, or you want to teach open-mindedness, you want to teach respect. You can go ahead and use design thinking as a layer of application. When you see something, it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to role play in the class, but letting the children actually do something about it, talk about it in a process format, makes the learning much more fluid. So traditional schools, they will present the lesson, they will do an assessment, mostly pen and paper, and then for us that's good understanding. But if we put design thinking as part of your summative task, I do feel that it will be much more rewarding, not just for the child, but for the whole classroom and the culture of the classroom as well. There is a research, I did not put it here, but you just reminded me of that research. The research says that if the emotions of the child, like how when you have a lesson and you're laughing out loud, or you're just crying, or there's just extreme emotions involved in the lesson, that the lesson becomes much more engaging for the children, that the lesson is more lifelong. So I can share that research. I'll go back to my books on this, but I am very inspired by that. That's why sometimes when I do my lessons, I sometimes show a lot of emotional pictures for my children to be touched. Sometimes I also show something with a lot of fun and laughter, where they're just laughing out loud, cannot even stop to laugh. So once I have those, I do feel that this lesson is going to impact the most because of those emotions that are there, right? Yes, exactly. So when you allow the children to use their own voice and choice, as we call it, it engages the children a bit more. Thank you, Miss Jyoti. Now, I would also like to share with you an actual booklet. As a teacher, our grades 3 and 4, this was shared by Miss Chesta, had a booklet to record the design thinking process with the children. It's very, very simple. It's a simple booklet that has, I will share this with you, don't worry. I'll have the entire presentation shared as well for you so that you can see all the different slides here. This was a booklet used by Miss Chesta when she was doing a club. We call it Able Club in 2001, I think it was. So here it's just a simple booklet. It basically just had boxes for the kids to fill in. What's your learning objective? What's your success criteria? When you empathize, you know how we guide the kids with guide questions. They also had the empathize guide questions, the definition or the define, the ideate, the prototype, and the test, right? So those are examples of how the teacher supports the children documenting the design thinking process. I also have here another, I think this is the Able Club. The Able Club that we have at Lancers is very much under the design thinking protocol. So here you can see the many designs that the kids have created, really highlighting empathy and collaboration. And we made it explicit that this is what we want you to do. You should be able to create prototypes and apply it, get feasibility studies, get desirability studies, get viability studies, and so on. So they really worked together. This was just a year ago, 2 years ago, I think it was. Yeah, so I'm going to share this with you as well so that you can see the actual work the children has done based out of these clubs that we had last year. Okay. We, as an educator, as a curriculum designer myself, I also make sure that the teachers are supported in this. So we have identified some of the resources they can use. We have leadership, entrepreneurship, media, technology, STEM, and so on. And here you've got some ideas of design thinking projects that the children can use. And below that, if you can see, there are a lot of websites that the teachers can use. And if you go to leadership, to each of the tab at the bottom, you can see the actual curriculums. Like say for first quarter, these are the things they're learning about leadership. These are the, we call it approaches to learning and the resources that the teachers can use. So every quarter, teachers are not at a loss when they are doing their work. Really, if this is very strong in ABLE, of course, I'm not saying it's something that you have to timetable as a club, but there are a lot of resources, obviously, for you to use. Okay. Right, so let's go back to the presentation. I've shared with you the curriculum, the ABLE Club, the samples that we have. I also would like to ask you if you have any more ideas. Let's see the chat box. Sorry, I'm not reading. Yeah, definitely, Ms. Kaur. Yep. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to put you in groups because I'll give you a challenge. Okay, so I believe we have 52 people. So we have 6 groups. I am going to just rename the just give me a second. Whoops. We're grouped into 6. Okay. And I am just going to rename your room as per the scenario. Just give me a second, please. Meanwhile, do you guys have any questions at this point? Or anyone who would like to share an idea? Okay. So I have 6 groups and I have 3 scenarios. Okay, so you will be given a specific scenario, you come together, and then you identify as a group of people what you think would be your design thinking plan for that. So this is the instruction. You will be given only 5 minutes to brainstorm using the design thinking stages. Think about your students, your parents, whoever it is for, because the scenario will be very specific to a specific group of people. I just want to share this with you. You can take a screenshot of it. This is the design thinking process, strategies you can have for every stage. Meanwhile, I will start putting you in groups. Now, the first scenario, if you were assigned scenario number 1, this is your task. Your task is you are going to reimagine the school drop-off experience. So we're using the design thinking protocol as teachers, right? Every morning, the school drop-off area becomes very chaotic. I'm sure Miss Akanksha will be very happy for this. Get your ideas. Miss Akanksha, Miss Shruti, Miss Hemlata, Miss Asha, because they are the ones in the drop-off. I don't know from Lancers Convent who is, but from Lancers International, these are the superpowers that we have for drop-off. So how might we redesign the school drop-off experience to make it safer, more efficient, and less stressful for everyone? So if you're in scenario number 1, that is your task. Okay. I'll put in the chat box the link to all of the slides in a short while, so that you can access them. The next one is, how would you improve the lunchtime experience at school, making sure that the children have enough time to eat, that they enjoy their meals, and they are socializing comfortably. So that will be your task for scenario number 2. And finally, scenario number 3, if you are assigned scenario number 3, this is your task. You are to enhance the school bus ride experience. For many students, the school bus ride can be boring, noisy, or uncomfortable. How can you make it more enjoyable, engaging, and comfortable for our students? Okay, so I have just given you the actual presentation. And in this presentation, you will be able to get to the link where the scenarios are, and at the same time, of course, the resources that we have for this session today. So please click on the link that is there in the chat box and go through, I think it's slide number 22 for the quick design challenge. You have about 5 minutes only. Okay, make sure that you have that, because I am now going to open all the rooms. Now, unfortunately, there'll be about 9, 7, and 8 people in the group. So you only have 5 minutes for this. I'm gonna put it on 6 minutes. And after 6 minutes, you'll all be thrown back to the main room, okay? So if you have no more questions, I'm opening all the rooms and I am automatically moving you to your sessions, okay? Okay, so is everybody back? We still have a lot of people in the different rooms. Please come back. Where are you? Okay, now I think everybody's back. 42. All right, there you go. All right, so we are back. So it's your turn to speak. What would be your idea? Just quickly share them. Let's go to scenario 1 group. If you're scenario 1, Akshi, Manisha, Neha, see, I have the names also. Pooja, Priyanka, Soumya, Sonali, Stuti, Grover. Scenario number 1. Please share your ideas with us.
Miss, could we share the screen?
Yes, yes, you can. Go ahead.
So this is what we came up with. So, Priyanka, let's start.
Yes. So empathizing, we are empathizing basically with students, parents, and the other pedestrians that we have there waiting in the queue. And then our problem basically is how can we give way to others and how can we prioritize safe drop off of children? And how can we help each other reach the destination safer and quicker on time? And the ideation is make parents also part of it, part of the problem, like understanding the solution of it. And prototype is introduce staggered drop off times based on grade levels, like depends. If for diploma or the middle school students, we can keep it 7:30, and for other students, we can keep it 7:45. And then for early years, we can keep it 7:50 or 8 o'clock. This way, we will be experiencing less traffic in that area. Miss Pooja, would you like to add something?
And we can create separate lanes for cars, buses, and pedestrians. Then we have teachers at the gates, but if we could even still have trained staff or volunteers to guide the traffic, and they can assist the children so that maybe the children, parents don't have to leave their cars and drop the children. Someone could go get the children from the car. That way, traffic would go really fast. So this is what our group came up with.
Awesome. How about the second scenario group? You've got Aishwarya, Barka, Hemlata, Kavita, Ritu, Saranjit, and Suruchi. Could you kindly share your ideas?
That was scenario 1 only. So I would like to add that in this we can, like, if we have multiple gates along with that, so we can utilize it for different section of parents, like how are they commuting, some of them by carpooling, some of them have individual dropouts. So we were also thinking of stagger timings, that but maybe that where they have two children so they have to think of, so maybe then we can just have some moderation for them. So that is how that we need to think out. The main thing is that we have to empathize and we have to be more considerate for each other's timing and safety.
Thank you, Mr. Ruchi. Any more from scenario 1? Okay, no more. Thank you for your ideas. Let's go to scenario number 2 now. Let's go ahead. Miss Anita, Miss Mehek, Miss Sarita, Miss Shafali, and Miss Sveni. Scenario 2.
For the lunch break, we can ask the students to make their own menu cards. Like the ones who are going for the meal, like in Lancers, we have some of the students it's not compulsory. Some of the students are going for the meal. They have the fixed menu, but the others, the ones who are having in the classroom. So we can ask them to make their own menu cards for different days. So they can design their menu cards. Even we can help them in that, so that even the food that they're bringing, it can be categorized in junk food and healthy food. They'll get the knowledge. The EVS concept will be incorporated in this lunch break time. They'll discuss on this. The friends, the other peer group will also discuss on junk food and healthy food. One day can be fixed for the junk food, as they have the habit of bringing pasta and pizza. So one day can be fixed for this. The other days can be fixed for healthy food. Then we can talk about the nutrition value for the food. So this may be one way we can incorporate. Prashasti, would you like to add?
We can also have some sort of days where their children are coming up with a own no gas day, where like the parents are not cooking, they're only sending the ingredients.
It's like non-fire cooking day.
Non-fire cooking, where they can bring ingredients, and after that they, in the class itself, we can give them some time and they can prepare their meal and they can enjoy that meal in the lunch break. This will bring happiness in them, and they will be so happy to have the food that they have made. So this we can inculcate.
Thank you. Any more from the other scenario 2 group? Anita, Anna Marie, Karina, Kritika, Shruti, and Tanya.
For preschoolers, we can add to the, like, for them it's difficult, we have meals provided by the school itself. So we can give them like a dining table hall, which we are giving right now as in lunches, but in a shorter version, it is group of 6, so that it can communicate for the week to the limited children. And after a week, like, we can incorporate this design thinking and we can take a oval survey. Okay, what they think about this group. Are you comfortable with your pals? And are you want to change the group? You want to add some more other children? And they can talk about the different cuisines we are liking and everything. We just do the survey later. First we get the compiled group which are be formed by teachers. Then later we can take the suggestion by the kids so that they also feel they're involved and participating in the decisions.
I like that you added, Kritika, that you have to collect feedback so that we know when we can improve and where we can improve. Thank you. Well done. Any more from group 2? Scenario 2? None. Excellent. So let's move on to scenario 3 now. Let's have the group of Chesta, Nancy, Parul, Prapti, and Ruchi.
Thank you, ma'am. We shared a lot of ideas together. I want to give opportunity to Miss Ruchi and Miss Parul, everyone to share as well, because we had a very meaningful discussion there. Miss Ruchi, do you want to go ahead?
Yes. Good afternoon, Miss Ananebelle. We were sharing about we can have some book clubs in the bus, because some of the children, they are taking long route buses. So that time they can just read some books, and we can make someone accountable that to check what they are reading. And so that most of the time is utilized in reading. And someone suggested to have some corner with some toys like some action balls and those kind of things, so that they have some place where they can just release that stress. And Ms. Parul, you want to add something?
Ma'am's, I think audio is not working. So she's written to engage the students during their bus ride. We can have audio books that will improve their learning skills. Along with that, we can have celebration rides on the special days when they can have some activities related to occasion. This would also encourage the participation of students boarding the bus. That's a very good idea. Yes.
And I would also like to add here, if I may, my microphone finally works.
Finally.
Yeah. So since students are really overwhelmed with emotions after their day at school, so we want to make sure that before they go on the bus, they actually have a chance to release these emotions through some physical exercise and mindfulness activity after that. So we want to make sure that actually they release all that like physical energy and emotional energy out of them before going on a bus, so they can just like settle down, and it will make the bus ride go more smoothly for everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, Miss Alina. Any more? How about Miss Asha, Miss Jyoti, Kana, Lucine, Shanika, Brenda, and Zoom user? Who is that Zoom user? Go ahead, please.
Actually, in my team, we had also different ideas. One teacher shared that let's find out who likes what and wants to sit with whom. So if they are sitting with a buddy, then they will spend better time. Then we find out what they like to see. Like we are thinking if we can design, like it's in airplanes, we have screens. Children can through like headphone watch something interesting like audiobook, or I don't know, like related something to our trip where we are going, like there's like some cartoon. And also one teacher also bring an idea that children should have safety belts. On safety belts there will be some buttons that if they have some problem they will press that, and teachers front will identify from which child the signal is coming, so teacher will reach there and solve the problem. So
like in the airplane. Ding.
Yeah, so different ideas.
Wow. Brilliant ideas, you guys. Anyone who would like to add?
Yes, ma'am. Good
Yes,
afternoon, ma'am. We can
Yes, go
also
ahead.
have a creative corner at the end of the bus also, where students can make best out of waste material in their meantime, and they can use puzzles or join the different parts of stories so that their time can be utilized in a creative corner.
Thank you so much. So you are the Zoom user. What is your name, ma'am?
My name is Mehek Sharma from Lansers. Thank you.
All right. So any other additional ideas before we move on? We are wrapping up now.
Maybe
Any
one more
ideas?
only.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Alina. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was thinking, why don't we give students more agency on that and actually let them come up with their ideas of what exactly they want to do during their bus ride. But they have to make sure that whatever ideas they come up with, everybody on the bus is comfortable with. So they're not making too much noise, they're not distracting the bus driver or anything. And then they can actually try out their ideas during the ride, and then they can collect feedback from their peers and the teachers and maybe even the bus driver.
That's a good idea, because I think the bus driver is also someone that needs to speak up over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Miss Alina. Wonderful. So, of course, brilliant ideas. I do hope that you were able to go through this 1 hour with design thinking in your mind as not just a process, but it's a mindset. You know, it's an empowering tool for educators. It's really not looking at obstacles, but really focusing on opportunities. I don't like to look at the things that we face every day as obstacles, but really there are opportunities for us to create something better, not just for our students, but of course, for the entire school community. Whether it's just improving a process or maybe tackling a global issue, as you know, scarcity of water, for example, we can have a big voice on that. So I just have a quote for everyone, which is the end of our session today. Just read it. Yep. You have the link to the presentation as well for all of you, so you can go ahead and go back to some of the slides. But really, design thinking is more than just a process. It's a way to turn challenges into opportunities. But for me, it's really about teaching the children to be caring individuals, really focusing not on themselves, but on other people, embrace creativity, and they can design solutions that can truly make a difference. It is important for us teachers to think about the brighter future ahead. And I do hope that I am able to somehow enlighten you a little bit with where to start to achieve that. The reference to the the presentation that we have today is also on the final slide. Yep. Okay, on behalf of the management of the school, I would like to thank each and every one of you for sitting down and sharing your ideas and perspectives. I wish you all a restful rest of the weekend ahead. Take care, everyone.
Okay,
Thank you,
bye.
Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.